Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the show. Out of necessity, a lot of really cool inventions are created or ideas just come out of nowhere, and I just thought I'd just share with you some of the things that I've just picked up over the years I've wanted to discuss with you all, but I think this is the perfect time to do it, and we'll just get into it and I'll try and remember all the things worth sharing. But to start with, this pedal board has been something that I've just been thinking about for some time now. I just wanted those pedals that you more or less just set and forget. They're part of your core tone. They're not something that you stomp and need turn on and off during gigs or with jam sessions and things. You can still have your pedal board on the floor for your reverbs and your delays and phases or whatever you want for your solos or just to mix up the tone. But the main core of the tone that I like to set and forget that makes my sound, I like to just have with the EQs and the dials and have part of the amp. And so this is just such a simple idea. I've just folded a piece of aluminium here. All my pedals have a bit of Velcro on the back and I've just applied Velcro to the front. They stay there beautifully. They're easy to turn on and off. The actual framework, if you wanted to, you could screw it to the cabinet just so it's part of your cab wherever you take it, anywhere you go. I've actually just used a bit of duct tape on the back of the frame and that just holds it there when I take the head on and off or swap it with some other head for the videos. There's a few things that just make this setup just so simple to use, and one is these Ernie Ball ribbon cables. I've covered these before. They're just so streamlined. You can manipulate them however you want. They come in a box of 10, all different lengths. They're just so cool. You can barely see them. They look really good. And the other is the Ernie Ball Volt, which is high current isolated DC power supply. It's regulated. There's no noise. It has 5 different outputs. It's got 4 9-volt 300 milliamp outputs and one for the 18 volt. It's also built really well and it's really heavy for its size and its rugged construction. It'll fit into any of those little power board nooks and crannies just to try and conceal it. The orange LED lights there will just show the status of each of the pedals. And sometimes when you run your amp really close to the pedals like this, near the pedal power supply, the amp and the effects loop will just pick up on that and you'll just get a little bit of that electronic noise coming through the head, which is really undesirable. And since using the Volt, I've just had absolutely no unwanted electrical noise coming through any of the pedals or the amp, the effects loop, the whole bit. I'm sitting a foot away from it with cranked high gain settings. And anyway, that's it for that pedal board. I did make another variation for the Boss Katana, as all the dials and things are on the top of that. I really like with the Boss Katana that it's got that really sterile front end clean channel, and I can run a lot of those preamps and different distortions in the front, and they're really cool as you can get totally different amp sounds out of it. And something else that I've really wanted to talk about is just on your guitars themselves, just keeping the noise down, keeping them quiet. You notice a lot of the time on the front here, I've just got a little bit of leather. This is just a little bit of leather strap that I just weave through the strings. I just leave it there. It doesn't push them out of tune. It has no impact on the strings whatsoever, but it just quietens them down completely. So that's all you get. So as soon as you finish playing those short staccato riffs, you're not left with any of that string ringing at the end, and that drives me insane. Another thing that I do, if you just turn the guitar around, hopefully you can see it there, there's a little bit of foam that I just put under the springs. I just cut the foam just so it's not pushing on the springs, it's just touch. Like there's no springs just ringing at all. And if you've noticed at the back, there's just a little bit of that timber block right there. And what it is, I'll just fit the wang bar to the Floyd Rose. And this is something that I do as I really love the feel, the low profile of the Floyd Rose when I'm playing. But sometimes I just find I don't need the whammy bar. I'd rather just do without it. Have the whole thing just stay in tune really well and be really solid. But I've just fitted the whammy bar now just so I can get rid of, there it is. So this little block, hopefully you can see that in the camera there. It's just a little block of timber that I've made out of paddle pop sticks, shim them up to be the right size. When that fits in there and I take one of the springs out just so that the spring tension is more than the spring tension on the back, that just locks it in and has the Floyd Rose exactly level across the guitar. And it's a great idea when you tune your guitar to do exactly the same as you're tuning your guitar with an exactly level Floyd Rose bridge, all your intonation, everything about it, every way that you set it up, it's going to be perfect every time. And these are just common things that I've been doing for years with my guitars, just when I'm tracking so many rhythms, recording songs and things, and just that little tiny bit of noise that you might be neglecting up here, it all adds up by the end of the song. If you've done 10 guitars, you're just going to have this hell of a lot of unwanted noise. But like this, it's on or off, just the way we like it. And next, I'm sure a lot of you all agree that some pedals just have these absolutely blinding lights on them that you can't even look at in daytime, let alone if you're in a dark stage at night and these pedals are just blinding you, trip over things. So I guess please to any companies out there that make these super high beam lights on their pedals, stop doing it. You're just blinding the guitar players, and it even makes it hard to show off your pedals in videos like this. And I've tried so many things over the years just to try and counteract that, just with little bits of masking tape over the little LEDs or painting them or doing something. And I like my pedals to all look nice. I like to look at my gear. I like to see that it actually, if it looks good, half the time it sounds better. So something that's worked for me that works really well is from the hobby shops. You can buy this Tamiya paint, and this is a transparent tint, and this one's labeled Smoke, and it's a water-based paint, and just with a tiny little brush, you just paint it on each of the little LEDs. You don't have to be super neat with it, as it's transparent. You won't even see it and it won't show up. All the lights are even to each other. They're even along the pedal board, so none of the lights are bright or too dim or anything like that. It all just works now. So it even looks good when you have the pedal off and you're just having a look at the pedal itself when there's no power applied. It doesn't look like you've altered it or made any adjustments to the pedal. It's just a little bit dimmer. And next and last, this brings us to the microphone stand. And this is just a really simple way to mic up your guitar cabinet for live gigs or just recording sessions if you know exactly where the sweet spot is for your cabinet. And this one just clamps onto the microphone lead as well, just so if anyone was to walk out on stage and just kick the microphone lead, it's not going to pull your microphone away from the cabinet and affect your actual performance. So anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video today. A lot of these ideas just are created from necessity, so sometimes it's just those simple things that work best. But anyway, again, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.